Coming up on EagleVision News, we tell you everything you need to know before the presidential election.
2 wildfires take over Southern California.
And the LA Dodgers win the World Series.
All this and more coming up on EagleVision News. Hello and welcome to EagleVision News. I'm Quinn Gorham.
And I'm Ashley Grams. And today we are outside.
That's
New
right.
set for you guys.
Celebrating the beautiful Southern California weather as opposed to a couple days ago where the air was all smoky.
Yeah, horrible smoke and ash from the fires.
I had ash all over my car. I woke up one morning, I went out to my car to and it was just coated.
It was just coming in the windows. I've never seen anything like it. I'm from the Pacific Northwest. I'm from Seattle.
Yeah.
We don't get anything like that there.
It happens like late October a lot in Southern California, but that doesn't make it any easier for us, you know, when we're living here. So
totally get it.
A lot of respect out to the firefighters and first responders out there who are helping out with the fires right now.
Definitely, you say late October, but it's early November.
Yeah, we're in our election attire. I got my blue blazer, my red tie, my white shirt, red, white, and blue. You got your red dress. We're kind of working with each other
United
here.
States. Yep, love it, because we're going to have to vote here in a second.
That's true. And our reporter Katelyn Quisenberry has the inside scoop on what to look for in this week's election.
Thank you, Ashley and Quinn. Yes, I'm here in Orange County next to the San Clemente voting ballot box, and where I have seen many residents dropping off their same day or vote by mail ballots. The only problem is, Quinn, how soon these votes will get added to the overall election. To discuss more on this, I talked with Tyler Bowden to see how he thinks the impacts of voting will affect the younger generation.
Well, I would say that, we do focus so much of our time and energy on the presidency or just on national politics. But really what impacts our own personal quality of life more than anything is our local representatives. So it's as important, if not more important, to understand who your local representatives are, where they're coming from, what they stand for, and what they're going to do to better your community. Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to impact your quality of life and your day-to-day more than any other level of government. So start with the local. All politics is local. And if we can do better there, then it'll have a natural impact on higher levels of government.
And with this being broadcasted to so many college students, what advice would you give to a college student looking to vote this election year?
I would say that, the most important thing is that your civic duty doesn't end after you've turned in your ballot. It's so important to continue being involved after Election Day and every day, being involved on campus, in student organizations, and in the government at whatever level you're interested in being involved. And at the end of the day, I think truly that's what will change things in our world, in our country, and in our states and in our cities. More than anything is when people actually take it upon themselves to get involved. So don't just vote, do more than vote, get involved.
Tyler also said it's important to know the facts when voting for a specific candidate. Here's a look at what to expect for the elections tonight.
Success is going to bring us together.
I represent all of you, whether you voted for me or against me.
Tonight, you can expect to see the candidates face off in what may be the most important election of our lifetime. The presidential election represents two choices with two competing visions for our nation's future. Votes from the mail are some of the first votes you will see on your TV this election night. But not all states allow that process to start so early. In a handful of states, including a few battlegrounds, election officials can't start any of that work until Election Day. So in some counties where there are thousands of votes and absentee ballots coming in, it may take some time to get them all counted. And for the state of California, expect that it may take a while before receiving the final results. There will be some results on election night, but ballots will continue to come in for weeks afterwards until November 20th. Note that the polls will be closing election night at 11 p.m. Eastern Time.
That's all I had for you guys. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Well, thank you, Katelyn, for that information. Make sure to get out there and vote if you haven't already.
And we talked a little bit at the top of the show about the fires, and here's more on that story. Over 60,000 Orange County residents have been forced to evacuate after 2 fires erupted last week.
As of this morning, the Silverado fire is over 90% contained. The blaze, which erupted 1 week ago, was strengthened by the Santa Ana winds and caused over 70,000 people in Orange County to evacuate. The Blue Ridge fire, which swept the hills near Yorba Linda, is also nearly 100% contained. All evacuations in Orange County have been lifted.
Now, Quinn, I know you're pretty into baseball. Did you watch the World Series?
Yeah, I did. I'm a Padres fan, so rivals with the Dodgers, who ended up winning it.
Right.
But for all those LA Dodgers fans out there, we know there's a lot of you guys watching the show with Biola being in LA and all. There's a lot of people excited right now.
Yeah, there are. And the Padres actually did well.
Yeah, they made it to the playoffs.
Season.
They got swept by the Dodgers, coincidentally enough. But on the note of the Dodgers, the LA Dodgers recorded their first World Series win in over 30 years this past Tuesday. Just a couple of weeks after the Los Angeles Lakers won the NBA Finals, Los Angeles natives have another championship to celebrate. The Dodgers beat the Tampa Bay Rays in a 4-2 series with dominant performances from Corey Seager, Walker Buehler, Clayton Kershaw, and many more. Seager earned the World Series MVP, batting .400 and scoring 7 runs through the series, helping lead the Dodgers to victory. The Dodgers have reached the postseason in every year since 2013, but this is the first year that they went all the way to win the championship. After years of waiting, it's safe to say that fans and team members alike are overjoyed and excited to see what the future holds.
Well, the COVID-19 pandemic has forced people indoors and forced them to find other ways to vote, one of those being mail-in ballots. Our reporter, Michaela Hayes, has more on this story.
This election, mail-in ballots are more prevalent than ever before. Absentee ballots were first issued by President Lincoln during the Civil War so that soldiers could vote while in the field. As America mobilized, states were given the authority to grant mail-in ballots to anyone who requested it. Now, early mail-in voting and absentee ballots continue to rise with the decline of in-person voting. This year, COVID has influenced an overwhelming amount of people to vote by mail to respect social distancing guidelines. With this uptick, mail-in ballots have been sent to every resident in some states.
In a Democrat area, they sent out 1,000 ballots. Everybody got 2 ballots. This is going to be a fraud like you've never seen. The other thing,
and this is all about trying to dissuade people from voting.
Today I'm here at the Taft Branch Orange Public Library, where people are dropping off their mail-in ballots for the upcoming election.
It's more convenient.
Especially like with COVID right now and going to the polls, I think it's a lot safer. I just wanted to vote early.
I didn't put much thought into it. I mean, my parents were just like, here are the mail-in ballots. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just fill them out. Like, I'd rather spend thoughts on other things.
There's no other choice, really. I mean, I would have personally liked the in-person, but I know it's going to be super busy, so, well, we got to do what we got to do.
This has been Michaela Hayes with EagleVision News.
Well, the COVID-19 pandemic has forced the election to move on in an alternative way, and it's forcing Biola organizations to do the very same thing. Our reporter Natalie Willis has the story on how the dwelling is approaching that.
Thank you, Quinn. I had the pleasure of speaking with the leader of the dwelling, Chris Berrigan. The dwelling is Biola's supportive community, where students who identify as LGBTQ or experience same-sex attraction can gather.
Students were sent a questionnaire asking everything from their major to their preference between cats and dogs in order to match them with a pen pal with shared interests.
So the dwelling is all about creating space for students to connect and belong. And the pen pal program is really saying we are going to overcome obstacles that we may have in connection because you're worth fighting to connect. Like, just to create space for. And the pen pal program was actually created for students that are maybe in living situations that are not able to speak openly and honestly.
The program's goal was to aid Zoom fatigue by giving students a different way to communicate that does not involve more screen time and instead feels more personal. According to Chris, the dwelling has always sought to connect with students' needs by creating a safe space to gather and enjoy community.
You know that feeling on like when it's a cold day and you just kind of get to bundle up in a sweater and maybe you have like a warm cup of coffee or tea and it's just like, it's just so cozy. That's the vibe that the dwelling is always trying to give off.
The Pen Pal program is a great way to keep the dwelling community connected during the pandemic. Although Chris informs me that they are all looking forward to the day they can meet in person to eat mac and cheese and enjoy fellowship. Reporting from Bakersfield, California, I'm Natalie Willis. Back to you guys.
Well, thank you so much, Natalie. I think the pen pal program is really, really cool. I actually had a pen pal when I was in elementary school. Yeah.
I was in like a pen pal program when I was in first grade, I think, and we were paired up with third or fourth graders. I don't remember which one it was.
Oh, like big kid, little kid?
Yeah, except my pen pal was not the greatest pen pal in the world because we met up with them in person.
Oh, you
we
did?
like went up to their class and stuff, and he just hung out with his friend the whole time and made fun of us.
No, poor little Quinn.
Yeah, I still remember that. That was traumatizing, but that's okay.
Oh, I love it. You turned out okay.
Yeah, and I'm sure the experience at the dwelling is a little bit better because they have a better handle on that.
Yeah, they do. Now we're going to go to our reporter, Shelly, for the weather.
Thanks, guys. I'm here in San Jose, California, where it's a breezy 77 degrees and finally starting to feel a bit like fall. Over in the greater Los Angeles area, you can look forward to sunny days with some autumn winds. Temperatures are expected to stay in the high to mid 80s early in the week, but make sure you soak in that Monday through Thursday sunshine and get ready for temperatures to drop this weekend. Saturday and Sunday, we're looking at a high of 68 and a low of 50 degrees. The high 60s are expected to continue early next week, so make sure you get your jackets out. Shelly Novo for EagleVision News. Back to you in the studio.
Well, thank you so much, Shelly, for that weather update. Don't forget, tomorrow is Election Day. I'm excited.
Have you voted yet?
Yes, I have actually. I dropped my ballot off at a ballot box. What about you?
I'll be voting tomorrow and doing the whole traditional going to a polling place and punching my...
It's our first presidential election. You got to go out there. Yeah, it is kind of exciting.
There's a lot of like very big issues in this election, I feel like, and I think younger voters, there's going to be a record turnout probably.
Yeah, definitely. I think that, whether Donald Trump wins, whether Joe Biden wins, there's going to be people upset and happy on both sides, and then it's just up to us to move forward and work with what we got.
Yeah, I think regardless of whether your candidate wins or loses, be respectful of the other side, be respectful of the fact that people are going to be upset. This is a very passionate election, and I think that's a good thing in a lot of ways, but also we need to be respectful of our peers.
Participating in democracy.
There you go. On that note, thank you guys so much for joining us on EagleVision News.
Make sure to follow us at Biola EV on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
We'll see you guys next time.